It's a big plane, but it must be an observation plane. It must be a fire plane. And I thought of the wildfires out west. Maybe it's bringing in water, you know, to fight the fire in the building. Maybe it's bringing in water, you know, to fight the fire in the building. The concept that it was going to hit the tower is so foreign to all of us that you couldn't believe what you were seeing. And I still didn't believe it after it happened. Diane?
Less than an hour later, the South Tower came crumbling down. It collapsed! Less than an hour later, the South Tower came crumbling down. It collapsed!
That melted the steel. As it melted the steel, shell or frame, the floors collapsed, each on the other, and down they came into rubble. 1,600 degrees or even more, that melted the steel. As it melted the steel, shell or frame,
After that, the second tower just collapsing into a pile of rubble.
Here's the AP lead out of New York. In a horrific sequence of destruction, terrorists crashed.
After that, the second tower just collapsing into a pile of rubble. After that, the second tower just collapsing into a pile of rubble.
Manhattan, where there is a great deal of activity every day. There are trading rooms. There is, as we said, an exchange. Commodities are traded there. It's an environment where now there is a great deal of activity every day. There are trading rooms. There is, as we said, an exchange. Commodities are traded there.
There was a cascade of sparks and fire.
To the catastrophe that have been blasted to pieces, thrown over on their sides, and burned. There are a number of U.S. postal vehicles in the street that have literally, Dan, just melted. U.S. postal trucks that have melted in the street. There is a large bus, could be a city bus, might be a kind of a Greyhound bus. Impossible to tell because it has been completely burned away, and is sitting just in the middle of West Broadway.
Did you see either one of the buildings collapse?
Yes, I did. About 10 to 20 blocks up, I stopped to catch my breath. I turned and looked around, and the Southern World Trade Center began to just buckle. About 50 consecutive bangs, and it fell down like a waterfall.
See, but you could hear the steel bending. You could hear
The antenna on top of it is One World Trade Center. That's the one where the initial impact occurred. And then the one with the observation deck on it is Two World Trade Center, and that's where the second explosion occurred about 15 minutes later.
I can still see flames shooting out of both, so it's an incredible sight. Do you have, obviously they've told the planes to come down, so do you have any shots right now of it?
You know, we've got a shot looking up from the ground at the side of the tower there. But we're not looking at the actual crater on the side, but we can certainly see the smoke coming from the building. Have you had a sense over the past hour? Because from what I'm seeing, there's as much smoke as there was an hour ago. That they have not made much of a dent in this fire. I don't even know how much fire equipment they've been able to move up onto those upper floors.
It's just coming down, Pat. It is just coming down.
Watch the right
it's
side.
Exploding.
The building is ripping apart.
It is billowing. Pat, the debris is flying. I'm going to run.
Okay. All right. We hope that Kristen was not in a position where she would have been injured by that. But the tower is literally crumbling into the streets of Manhattan there, and
blocks and blocks.
I don't know. Don't know how much debris is falling or where that debris has fallen, and we'll attempt to reestablish our contact with Kristen, but that tower's not there anymore. That dramatic scene, and this is going to clearly mean that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people injured as that building has fallen. New York One's Sharon Diesenhaus is with me as well now as we watch this dramatic videotape.
This is just extraordinary. We have just seen, that was One World Trade Center?
This one I don't even know which.
One of the World Trade Center towers.
That was Two World Trade Center. That was the second. The second impact was, but it has vanished from in front of us.
Humbling. It's now 10 o'clock. That means it was roughly an hour after the initial impact, which seemed to impact roughly the top, I would say, 1/4 of the building. And now we see the building has apparently crumbled.